Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
I know they're adding housing.
Yes, that was one of the things I had.
I don't know how it's supposed to work. Because didn't they have like a housing thing like way back in the day?
No, so early on they had apparently early in WoW's development they floated the idea but never implemented it, and now they're like going back to it.
Now they're joining the bandwagon.
Supposedly a big way. I couldn't find very many details 100% because it's not coming out to like the next expansion.
Man,
but apparently they want to do it in like a big way.
You know, housing for MMOs is so wild to me. Like I was saying this yesterday that we live in a dystopia because of us watching that Mike Tyson and whatever Paul brother fight.
The most depressing fucking thing ever lately.
Yeah, and like MMO housing is a thing, but I didn't realize like how much time people spend on it and how much money they spend on it. Like it's kind of crazy because I have a coworker who like they have basically like a job where they like other people pay her to decorate their housing in Final Fantasy 14.
I mean, this has been around for years, but like, I mean, this is like a lurking in the shadows, but like, Second Life. That old game.
Yeah.
I think it's still a thing, but there are people that like have an actual job like renting land in that fucking game.
Yeah, and even like those virtual nightclubs in these MMOs too. Like they have real life billboards out there to advertise them for people to come into places that don't exist. It's crazy to me, Yeah,
I was wondering, like, because with WoW, it's like, how will they do it? Like, will they go the ESO route where it's like all instanced in a sense of like you don't have to bid for like plots, or it'll be like that for 14 where there's like an actual housing market?
I'm not sure, because that's been a kind of a complaint a lot with Final Fantasy right now, where they're kind of going through the capitalism drawbacks where everyone owns all the housing. And the older players that were kind of grandfathered in, I know back before they didn't update, you could just own as many houses as you want, but they changed that to where you can only own like one or two properties. But if you own them before this or before a certain date, you just get to keep them. You just can't buy more. But some people had like a lot of them. So they actually own like several houses, and they just have them forever.
I will say there's depending on how they do it, like there should be some like cool housing options. Wow, there's a lot of like cool zones. Really depends on like if you're where the housing takes place and how they do it.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses to both, because some people enjoy having like a physical location, like you can go to it and like that's yours. It feels like it's worth more,
Yeah, like one of the closest things I could really think to it is back more there's a Draenor, they did the garrison thing.
That's what it was.
That was cool.
Garrisons.
Yeah, no, garrisons was a bit different because you could have like invasions by like enemy NPCs you could do on the daily and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. It gives like a point to it.
Yeah. You had like a little side mission thing and stuff.
I saw a TikTok of a guy in VR chat buying a house and another guy trying to convince him like, dude, why are you buying this house in VR chat? It's only $50 and the guy's holding it for me. I just need to wait until I get $50. The guy's like, you'd think like if you don't have $50, spending $50 on a virtual house probably isn't the best financial investment. Totally ignored the fuck out of him, walked away, went to his buddies. I'm buying a house for $50.
I never even thought about that, man. Like, yeah, VR chat housing must be a thing.
Isn't that crazy? It's like there's an actual like market. You guys ever see those ads like for phone games where you can like purchase virtual property based off of like the real Earth? Like, oh, I own Paris.
That was one of the ones with that fucking eagle ad that I found.
Yeah.
With the eagle shitting on the guy's coffee. Yeah, that was for one of those things where it's like own actual land, and apparently you could make an actual money payout. Like they claimed they already paid out $2 million to users or something. I don't know.
It's all schemes and scams.
Well, obviously, like I remember sitting there like, how could that how that work? There's no like actual claim to this virtual land.
Well, someone's making money. It's just not you.
You guys get all the cool ads. Mine are just naked ladies doing the splits, being like, get 20 free summons of this naked lady every time you log in. I don't know what the games are.
I've had those pop up too.
That's all I get. It's pretty nonsense. It's not great.
The most jarring was that one I said to you, Fliz, though, the one with the eagle.
I'll have to
taking
watch
a dump
it
in the
again.
guy's coffee, his creamer, and then he just goes in like nothing happened.
Yeah, that ad came out of nowhere. Speaking of coming out of nowhere, welcome to Giant Enemy Crab Podcast, episode 24. I'm your boy Fliz. I'm here with these three wonderful, wonderful gentlemen who've never seen the inside of a strip club. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, just wondering what the inside of a strip club looks like.
It's kind of wet.
I was gonna say it has to be kind of gooey,
It's kind of moist in there. Like the air is heavy.
like uncomfortably moist.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
not
know.
many strip clubs around here, man. Like,
That's all right. You're not missing much. How you doing, Tsun? How's life today?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
This is a busy day at work.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Kyler, how was your day?
Pretty good. Been playing a couple new games. Vibing, having fun.
Ooh, we'll talk about that. One more, Jacob. What you been doing?
Not much. Not much today. And that's fine.
You laughed about it last time, but then I realized as I was listening to it, like we called you Jacob like 4 times before we even got to that part. Like it's not gonna stop.
Yep.
Everybody gets called. Well, and I guess it's just 2 of you. The other 2 of us only have online monikers. Anyway, we're here for gaming news. What y'all got
I
today?
said my name before. People just keep calling me the online moniker.
Because you got 2 other names to go by.
Yeah, I still remember. What were we playing? Was it League of Legends where you were given some other, like some random on our team shit for their edgy name? I was like, okay, Insanity evolved.
I have had this for so long, man. At least, but like, it wasn't anything like my inner darkness. It's just like,
I don't believe you.
You say that a lot because you like to be devil's advocate to everything.
I had a buddy who went by Juggalo something or other. And he's like, I made it when I was 13. I'm like, dog, we're like 30 now. You gotta switch it up.
Oh, that's great.
That's neither here nor there. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. So I got a couple things. First, there's another strike happening. This time with one of Microsoft's companies going on.
Kind of
Where-
feels like we're doing the same news every week.
Yeah, it does. And this is kind of important too, because this is a union that just got made. It was Zenimax. Their QA staff is doing a strike right now because apparently they have been, Bethesda at least has been outsourcing all their quality assurance work.
Oh no.
So in response to their, it's not great.
Oh, Zenimax does Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a
Wow.
big company.
I hate to say it, but like, I feel like QA is one of the things you could definitely outsource. Like, you don't even have to have them there. Am I wrong to think that?
No, you're not. The problem again with quality assurance work too is just like it's so unstable. Like there is no, it's not a great job to work if you want to feel financially sound.
No. And I remember reading a bunch that it used to be where you could work QA and actually, if you did it well enough and for long enough, you could become more, I don't think it's that way anymore. I think it's just
No,
work, just play this game until it's out. And then once it's out, you're fired.
yeah, that's what it is. And problem is like if you're new to it, you don't know that going in. Like they always make it seem like you will. There's more after you're done with your contract. We'll have more work for you, or we'll get you in a more permanent position. And then like, actually, no, goodbye, leave, get out of here. And the worst part is, since a lot of them are remote, when a lot of the time instead of firing them, they do a return to office policy and say, well, you better like move over here to the state, or else, you're going to have to be fired for not coming to work. And that makes it hard to get unemployment if they fire you for that. And yeah, you're kind of screwed.
That's no different from these the expulsion rooms. Well, I mean, I guess it's physically different, but it's the same thing. That it's like when you get put on a what are they called at work? Usually when you get put on a program where they're like, this is your last chance to clean up your act, except they know they're gonna fire you eventually. That's the whole point.
Like some type of remedial
An action
program.
plan or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever get put on one of those at work, goodbye.
There's no coming back.
Yeah, you're done. They want you out.
Yeah. But with them, it's like them doing these huge layoffs just by doing more return to office policies. They're just doing it to save money, so they don't have to, spend money in like severance pay.
Yeah.
That's what Unity I know is going through right now, where they've lost like a couple $100 million in restructuring because of all that, because they've been firing so many people and trying to consolidate all their offices. But yeah, so I don't know. I hope something comes of this, because they just unionized last year. And this is kind of their first, like, okay, let's see how this union does. And yeah, I'm kind of worried because, Microsoft's a big company. I don't know how much they're going to care, but hopefully something good happens.
I mean, they're using the union the way it's supposed to be used. You don't like what you're doing, go on strike. That's it.
Yep. So we'll just have to see the results.
Well, good luck to them. I wish them the best in getting livable wages and regular ass working conditions. Doesn't feel like too much to ask for.
Oh no. Beyond that, this is more very niche news, but it's kind of interesting. Nintendo is suing a alleged Switch pirate. Yeah, James Archbox Williams is being sued for pirating stuff, both their games and also like installing mods and stuff on their hardware as well.
Is his middle name Archbox?
That is his online
moniker?
Tag. That's his moniker. Yep.
I was going to say that's new to me.
Yeah, he's a moderator on r/Switch Pirates, which
shocker.
I would probably change the name of your Reddit page. Maybe let's make it a little bit harder to find. But the reason the story I bring it up is because it's kind of funny how they found him. Because apparently the email he was using to contact people for his services is tied to a Nintendo account. So they just basically like contacted him, got his email, looked up his Nintendo account, and got his address. And that's how they found him.
Oh no. I'm gonna say he doesn't really seems like he was trying that hard to hide.
Oh no. So here's the thing, because he actually didn't. So he also would like openly troll about pirating their games directly to them.
Yeah, he would. He definitely was not scared of Nintendo, but I think he might be after this. This is getting kind of scary because if you look at the details and what the Nintendo, what their case is, they are saying that not just him as an individual is the one that's doing this, but that he has created a community of almost 200,000 people are all pirates, and he is the one that's like causing a huge financial hole for the company. Now this is like this might be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit kind of thing. And if that sounds like a lot, like no way. Like only a couple of years ago, if you remember, Gary Bowser was a programmer who was sued by Nintendo, and he wasn't even the one like doing anything. He wasn't pirating anything. All he did was he managed a website that people could get in contact with people that actually pirated software and hardware. And that was all he did. And he was hired to do this as a web developer, basically. And he was sued for $14.5 million and went to prison.
It's almost like, I don't know, doing stuff that's illegal and crosses like giant corporations. That, as you say, Nintendo ninja lawyers, like you said, they're known for suing people.
Yeah,
I would probably just don't do that,
And I mean, if you do, don't openly challenge them on the fact. Like, wasn't he quoted on saying, like, it doesn't matter how many times Nintendo bans me, I have another 100 alt accounts or something like that?
I dare you to sue me. I doubled. Oh, fuck.
So, yeah, not only is this like very scary, not only could he be like sued and basically owe money for the rest of his life, guaranteed, he also never showed up to court.
Oh, no.
So Nintendo has a default judgment against him.
Imagine going to prison and they're like, hey, What you in for? Fucking video games. Fucking Nintendo. Oh shit, me too.
The Nintendo prison.
Nintendo prison. It's got lava and like spike walls and shit and fucking
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Sorry, prisoner, but your freedom is in another prison.
your freedom is in another prison.
The guy is
Yeah.
this guy has brought the lawsuit on himself too, because when I was reading, because I found like probably the same articles, but they wouldn't have gone as hard or even really known about him if he wasn't like openly gloating and like everything else about pirating their games.
Oh yeah, and not only that, he was like posting instructions on how to do stuff
Yeah.
like publicly. Like, yeah, don't do that. Like, this is a like over a century old company that has hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. Don't fuck with them. It's not a great idea. And what you're doing is already illegal, and now you're just like laughing at them.
Yeah, he's going, haha, look what I'm doing. Haha, do this, I'll teach you how. And then it's like, uh-oh, you're being sued. Like, what?
Crazy.
I hope he was making money for what? Like, why would you do something that can get you so screwed for free? Like, was he making money off of this? I mean, I'm not sure if you have that information, but
No, nothing like that has come out yet. But I mean, he was also involved in 3 separate other companies that also did this, like pirating companies. So he was probably making like a decent clip. But the fact that, he's saying that he's not going to give Nintendo $50 for a game, that's why he's a pirate. Like, okay, that's one thing. That happens all the time. That's why it's called like the pirating community, where, people just don't have money to spend on games, so they pirate it. And, companies usually don't have an issue with that, to be honest. It's when you start encouraging other people to do it, and then when you start posting instructions for people to do it, and you start charging people instructions or for the instructions.
And then you start being to the company of, haha, look what I'm doing. It's so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, there's a very gray line, but the line is still there, and you just like destroyed it. Just took a shit on it. I don't know.
it's funny to me that people can be like, I'm not paying for that video game. It's too much. It's like, they're too good to pay for it, but it's like, it's not a necessity. It's entertainment. Like,
Well, now he won't be able to afford any game ever again.
they'll give him a GameCube in prison. It'll be fine.
They're gonna give him a PlayStation.
No, I think a GameCube's better because that's Nintendo.
No, that's what I'm saying. They'll give him
Tonto.
a PlayStation, like an old PlayStation with like fucking those dog shit PS1 games that no one else played.
Only bad PS1 games. None of the good stuff.
He gets a Dreamcast.
No, it's funny you say that too, because pirating is very strange kind of act when it comes to software and how it can work. Even like regardless of video games. I know back when they were making other like imaging editing software and stuff, usually these companies didn't have a problem with people pirating the software, because eventually what happens is once enough people get used to it and those people like get jobs at companies and they say, oh, I typically use this software all the time. I've used it for years and like I really need it. They'll actually like get a contract with the company that made the software. So now those individual licenses don't matter. The fact that they were like pirated, because now you have a actual license with a huge company that made way more than all the individual ones that you lost to pirating. So that's like, that's why usually companies don't care, because they end up typically making their money back in other ways.
Yeah, the same thing happens a lot with like hacking and whatnot, where if you get good enough at it, you got a job.
Oh yeah.
Cybersecurity kind of probing,
Cyber.
right?
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, like I know Google for sure. They kind of like they'll pay you if you find exploits for their programs and shit and bring it to their attention.
Oh,
Yeah, this is like an entire subcategory of like hacking, basically. Because I think a lot of companies do it. There's a specific term for it, but I can't think of what it's called.
like white hat hacking.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, basically you're just doing pen testing, and if you find something, you tell the company and say, "Hey, I found this," and they're like, "Oh, here you go," and they give you some money for it.
Well, I want to say I hope they don't go too hard on him, but also like a lot of this seems like you kind of poke the bear over and
Yeah.
over and over again, and then oh no, the bear bit me.
And the
So-
scary part too is during the case with Gary Bowser, they straight up said that we are making an example of him. Like that's why we're
Oh, yeah.
suing him
Yeah.
so hard, which is like crazy to me that they're even allowed to say that, but they did. And to give you an idea, he worked a job in prison to start paying off the debt. Like this is
What
yeah.
job in prison would pay you though?
All I know is only give enough to give him $25 a month.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Not great.
That sucks.
It was something to do with like helping other inmates with stuff. I don't know exactly what it was, but he did have to work a job in prison to start paying off the debt. And from what I know, he's out of prison now as of I think this year or last year. And he has to pay about 20 to 30% of whatever money he has after rent and taxes.
Yeah,
Mm.
child support.
Yeah, basically. to Nintendo. Take care of baby Mario. Crazy.
Oh. All right. Well, what else you got?
That's it for me, actually. Jacob,
Oh, shit.
what did you have?
Before that, the term is white hat hacker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you said,
that's what I
okay. So
thought.
yeah, you were
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
said that.
Yep.
All right, then.
I just wanted to reinforce that.
Thank you for clearing that up. Now we know.
All right. First and foremost, what I showed you guys, Microsoft's new marketing campaign of "This is an Xbox."
God, that was a fever dream to look at.
I was going to ask you about that if nobody brought it up, because I'm still not entirely sure. I tried to watch the ad or whatever link you put on mobile, and my phone was not having any of that.
Yeah, it was not that bad. The desktop, basically, from what I understood from that, is they're basically trying to separate the like view that people have of the Xbox being the console, and more that like it's their more the software side of it, like Game Pass, their cloud gaming program, even, and the fact that like most of the games are now on PC as well. They're trying to like disassociate the view of Xbox as just being that box console,
Mhm.
and that like you can do Xbox on anything. You can do it on like laptops, normal desktops, your actual like Xbox X's, your like like phones with cloud gaming, like the Steam Deck and so forth. That's how I was understanding it, is that like it's just they're trying to market the fact that Xbox is more than the console. It's they're like anything can be an Xbox and play their games.
So there's no actual product. It's just a marketing thing. Or are they trying to bite into like GeForce now before GeForce gets strong?
No. They're just, it's a marketing campaign. They're not trying to sell something right now. They're just trying to get that a view out. Because like even now, people still have a hard time thinking about the fact that like Xbox is more than just that Xbox. Like they have a huge PC segment now, or like section that.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to like, now I want to ask people that I don't speak to regularly. Like, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Xbox? I don't know anymore. It used to be the green X, and then the actual Xbox with the box with an X on it. Like that's what comes to mind for me. And then
I think of Halo.
Halo chat. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Halo lobbies.
Just the 1 minute of the Riot Shield Modern Warfare 2 clip is just in my head. Is the first thing I think of. It's just that chat.
Mhm.
Because that was my first online gaming experience, was Modern Warfare 2. And that was exactly how every lobby sounded.
Little Strider sitting there. Ooh, what are these words? I've never heard these before.
Yeah, I could totally see this campaign happening, probably due to like underutilization of like their cloud gaming services. I actually think it is a GeForce Now thing, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
That's kind of
that's
where
what
I
I-
was thinking it was going. Because they said like a TV and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah, because I didn't even realize that the cloud gaming came with Game Pass Ultimate. I didn't even know that was like a thing.
oh wow.
So yeah, I could totally see them like being like, by the way, you don't need an Xbox box to play Xbox stuff. Like you just need something. Any of these things and you can play games.
Which,
So
you know,
I could see it.
doesn't. So yeah, I mean, if they're doing it on a TV, it's got to be a GeForce Now type thing.
Yeah. I think it
Okay.
is personally.
Okay, yeah, it seems like it would have to be.
But it's still I think it's still not a very clear campaign the way they're doing it.
It's a very strange one.
It is, yeah. When you just kind of look at it, and it's like this is a toaster. It's not an Xbox.
Dude, when I was reading it, I was like, am I because I think I had just woken up and I was reading it and I was like, am I reading like, am I going taking crazy pills? Like, is this satire? Like, felt like a fever dream. It didn't seem like it was real, but I guess it is.
I mean, if you were looking at, it's nothing compared to like the old gaming commercials from like the 90s and shit. Like that is
Those
this
was
is
surreal.
yeah,
Those
those
are
were
fun,
like
though.
it was like watching oh my god, what's that guy who makes all the weird stuff like Death Stranding? It was like him making commercials.
Hideo Kojima?
No, the other guy. The guy with the hard name who does Hellboy. It doesn't matter. This is already lost. But yes,
What?
surreal. Oh my god, it's like right on the tip of my tongue. I want to say
knew it.
Giorno, but that's not
Giorno Giovanna.
Giorno Giovanna.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro. There we go.
Okay.
We got it. It's like if he was making commercials for video games. That's what was in the 90s. Just weird shit like the Cheddar Goblin from Mandy, I think. Oh, you guys have never seen Mandy? Yeah, there's a clip in there where the kids are eating like it's macaroni and cheese, but instead of like mac and cheese, it's like the Cheddar Goblin. And he's just puking macaroni on these kids. It's this ugly little goblin, and in the commercial, it's just throwing up macaroni.
Oh.
I kind of want to see this just so
Oh,
I have
no.
a reference point. What the fuck
just
you talking about?
YouTube Cheddar Goblin at some point. And you'll
Cheddar
see where I'm
Goblin. That is
going.
like at the top of the list.
Yeah, not
What
right
the
now.
fuck is that?
Yeah,
I'm not actually watching it. I'm just looking at like the
Yeah, watch it
thumbnail
later.
itself is strange.
it's great.
So, in addition with them announcing that marketing campaign, later that day, they also released a statement that they're like, yeah, no, don't worry, guys. We're still making consoles. And that there is plans for a handheld release sometime in the future.
Oh, I saw that. It looked. I don't know if the picture I saw is real, but it looked really weird.
That's pretty gonna try to fight Gabe. Oh no.
I'm genuinely confused that like people are still chasing the handheld console thing. Like I mean, phones are more than power. Like you have your phone. I'm not going to carry a Steam Deck with me. And I know some people use a Steam Deck for this, but like generally speaking, you're fine. It's not like you like back in the day when and nobody had phones, you had a Game Boy, you know? This
Wait, you
is
don't want to use your Steam Deck to emulate games?
I do not have the money nor time to use a Steam
No,
Deck.
neither do I. Neither do I.
I have shit to do.
I got car payments and bills. I don't have enough for the fucking Steam Deck right now.
The specific thing about the Steam Deck I can see why people is like, you already have your game library that will transfer over.
Yeah,
That's a really big plus for it compared to like,
But-
because most of these other mobile consoles are going to probably have exclusives or like have generally had exclusive or unique games.
the other thing that I see that I kind of vibe with is when I look for mobile games, I like to look for ones that I can play on PC as well, where the data transfers between both. And that way I feel like it's kind of that Pokemon Sleep thing where I'm like, if I'm playing a game on my phone, I'm not like losing time on another game. Man, we're so screwed. Like, I can't. I just as a collective, like we always have to be gaining XP in something, and it has to, it's fine.
I like gaining XP.
I know
we
we
live
all
in a
do.
dystopia.
Meanwhile, nobody can afford a house, and don't worry about it.
Nah, I got a virtual house, dude. VR chat. What do I need a real house for?
I've got a mythical house plus 7. It only comes with 30,000 debt.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hey man, that's not the most. We've seen 300,000 before.
But it's just like the idea of like somebody sitting in their like shitty little apartment with beer cans and dirty shit all over the place, and they're like decorating their Final Fantasy house like with microscopic precision. No, that needs to go a little bit to the left. Like, get out of here, beer cans. Shut up, rats. I mean, it's got to be there. I mean, you look at Asmongold. That dude has all the money in the world, and he doesn't pay for a maid.
Hey, he started cleaning up his kitchen after he made those really fucked up comments.
He doesn't. Yeah, I don't want to talk about him. He's definitely become like a worse person as time goes on.
Oh no, I
don't want to talk about
it. That was just like, it's just referencing that he wasn't cleaning his thing because he wanted to.
He was doing it for the content.
He's doing it to say sorry for calling.
Sorry, I'm gonna go clean my room. I'm an adult. Shut up.
I said terrible things as apology to my community who have nothing to do with it. I'm gonna go clean my kitchen.
I'm gonna go do normal human things for a bit.
I'm gonna do things as an adult.
I'm gonna act my age for an hour.
But only because you guys told me to.
Yeah, only because I said some horrible shit.
Oh, no. I forgot about that.
That's as far as we'll go into it. We won't go.
Speaking of horrible things, Ubisoft is continuing to crumble.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful.
Ubisoft apparently had to cancel its live action Splinter Cell movie because they, quote unquote, couldn't get it right, was their reasoning.
They had a live action Splinter Cell movie in the works?
I'm sorry. When's the last time anybody thought about Splinter Cell?
Well, just now, actually, because I made you guys think about it.
You know what I mean. Is there a game? Have they released?
No, I don't.
Huh.
They haven't.
Okay.
There hasn't been a Splinter Cell game in a long time.
Yeah. The last time we saw, I was going to say the last time we really saw Splinter Cell was X Defiant because it included Splinter Cell characters in it. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's no new Splinter Cells since 2013.
Hasn't this been in development forever though? This movie?
Not anymore.
That's the Watch Dogs movie that has been in development.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Because that finished filming in September of this year, and that was like almost a decade, I think, since it was announced. I forget exactly when, but it's somewhere around there.
That's so weird that they're like Splinter Cell. A Splinter Cell movie could literally be any like spy movie.
Yeah, any just like spy espionage.
There's nothing there that we need Sam Fisher. I guess maybe. I don't know. That's somebody's favorite game character. I don't know who, but it's somebody's. I don't know. Did you guys ever play the original Splinter Cell on like PlayStation?
No. I've not.
All I remember is that you could shoot people with a taser, and that's all we did. Me and my buddy. We never got past the first level, just shooting everybody with the taser. That was it. That was the whole game to us.
Wait, is that the one? No, I might be thinking of a different game. Was it Splinter Cell where you could tase people they lit on fire?
I don't know. Maybe. I know you just had a taser.
Oh wait, I might be thinking of a completely different game series. There was a game, an older game now, where you could continue to like to taser someone until they caught on fire. I wish I could remember the name of it.
That sounds like something that would be in Postal.
Yeah, it does. Well, you piss on them to put them out.
Wait, oh my god. It might have been like a more niche.
The last Splinter Cell I played was which ones were for the 360? Because the only part I remember is the co-op campaign for one of them and how it ends.
Is that Chaos Theory?
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
I forget which one it is, but the final part of the co-op campaign is that both players have to kill each other, and whoever wins gets their ending, basically.
Ooh.
The final thing is just like it's like a showdown in a cargo planes, like filled with cargo, basically, and you just have to hunt the other person down, and it's one go, and whoever wins gets like an ending, basically, because it's like you're each controlling a character. And I just remember I won that one because we had played through the entire. Me and my friend were playing locally, and after like 4 or 5 hours, we got to the ending, and I won that, and I felt so good. One of my all-time favorite gaming highs.
You know, I'm kind of glad that they just straight up canceled the movie. I'm so tired of old, like really bad video game movies coming out because they're never that great. Honestly, most of them aren't good. There are very few that end up being good at all. So I'm glad they just said, you know what? We're just not going to release this. We just can't get it right.
There is a TV show, an animated TV show, I believe, coming though.
Oh God!
I think it's animated. Like they have a few things in the work. The Watchdog movies and that Netflix show. I can't tell if it was animated or not. I can't remember. Those were the two I saw.
Oh, I found the game, by the way. Sorry, it was Urban Chaos.
Urban Chaos.
Yeah.
You know, we just watched actually Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and it kind of made me think that I think the only, like, not only way, a solid way to like make video game movies and these series and stuff is to just step away from like whatever the game actually is and just focus on the game world instead and make your own.
Yeah, I mean, that works really well for Edge Runners.
Yeah, well, it's worked for that. It's worked for like Fallout, because when you try to focus on the characters that people like, for some reason it just never works out. You know, at least I can't think of one off the top of my head right now. But like Halo, the Halo series, oh my God,
That was ass.
yeah, it's terrible.
That was awful. I still remember hearing you go off. That wouldn't even been invented yet,
Dude.
Last of Us was really good.
What is it?
Last of Us?
The Last of Us was good, but one of the key reasons why that was good is because the game itself is already extremely cinematic.
True.
Right. So, and they didn't really change too much. They just basically did the entire thing again in live action. And so I think that was what I was going to say. Is the other way is if you just copy exactly what the game kind of already did well.
if it's cinematic.
But it has to be already a cinematic experience for the most part, because that's basically just at that point it's already just a movie. Yeah, because otherwise I think that's how you get freaking Borderlands.
I was going to say, or you could do nothing and end up with Borderlands.
Yeah. Just make a mishmash of the characters and butcher them all.
Yeah, if they didn't take existing characters, that they could have done something way better. If they didn't make it fucking PG.
No, they needed to do so much more. Like, you couldn't just... there's no simple fix for the Borderlands movie.
The Borderlands movie needs to be scrapped entirely.
yeah.
As I started making that list, more and more stuff popped up in my head, and I was like, nah, there's so much more.
I would also argue the other way you get a good adaptation is if your characters, there isn't much to them to begin with. So you have a lot to work with.
Yeah, I think the Minecraft movie is going to be great because of that. Steve looks amazing.
I don't think that's the example I would use for that at all. I was thinking more along the lines of the first 2 seasons of the Castlevania.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're talking about like character. Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah, because like I don't like Trevor had like 3 lines in his game. Maybe.
Yeah, there wasn't much to him as like in the long scope of like here's this character's background. Just that he's a Belmont.
I think that worked in, I hate to say it, but like Five Nights at Freddy's movie is probably one of the better video game adaptations I've seen.
I never saw it.
We all watched it together.
I wasn't here for that. I think I was asleep that night.
Well, you missed the only good video game movie. I think Silent Hill's okay too. We've been talking a little bit about going to do this, getting into video game movies.
What are you talking about? The Tekken movie was amazing.
Shut up. Well, he had sex with that lady in the dumpster.
His mom got blown up.
Yeah, and that lady came to watch him fight, even though he was already hanging out with that other chick. She didn't know. She was still hanging out in the dumpster.
Yeah, I can't believe he just like straight up just forgot that she existed. They were such a thing at the start. And then just, oh yeah, you exist. I forgot.
Yeah, we should totally talk. I've never seen, like, there was nothing from the game in that movie. Not a single special move or interesting character. Yoshimitsu was there. He didn't do anything Yoshimitsu does, but
He
that's
just had a sword. That was it.
yep.
No
That was
spinning.
it.
Just sword.
Yeah, what a why would they? That's one of those why. Why did you do any of this? Especially considering the guy who played Heihachi was the same guy who played Shang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat movie, which was banging when it came out. I love that movie.
Does it hold up now?
I mean, as well as it could. The soundtrack still holds up for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't. It's not hard to beat the Tekken movie. There's a reason nobody knows about it.
What about its sequel?
It has a sequel.
Yes.
Does it have a sequel?
Yes, there's a second Tekken movie.
Oh no.
I
have
think
to
we were
watch
like, do we
that.
want to watch it? And everyone went, no, not tonight. Goodbye.
Yeah, that first one was a lot, to be honest.
No, it was a nothing. There was nothing there. Oh my god, Kazuya's Revenge. No, thank you. Oh, I'm good. It's all the same. This is a direct sequel to the one that we watched.
Yep.
Oh dear. Oh,
Think
it's
the
got a
dumpster girl is there still?
No, she's still in the dumpster. She never came to the second movie. It's got a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe we have to watch this, and we'll just do the whole Tekken movie franchise.
Just remember that 9% is infinitely better than the first movie's score,
That's true.
which was 0.
I think Borderlands was also a 0. I still got to watch that. Oh, you know what? I hate to. I know you still got news. I'm sure. What was any of it about Secret Level?
There is only one other thing I want to cover then, if you want to move
go
on to
for
that.
it.
I'll just want to bring it up because I had a question related to it. Is the Game Awards are apparently the nominees for Game of the Year going to be announced on Monday.
Ooh.
And they have officially stated that DLC are eligible for receiving Game of the Year.
Is that for Elden Ring?
It's for Elden Ring, almost guarantee. And related to that, so far, what has been your guys' Game of the Year?
Ooh, game of the year.
I guess on these lists where DLC would also count, like expansions, I guess.
Oh, dang, because I played Cyberpunk for the first time, but that came out a while ago.
Still
I mean,
be a
it's
game of
your-
the year.
it's your
I would,
game
I
of
would
the
say
year.
for
Yeah.
anything you played this year, not anything that released this year, but anything you actually got to playing through this year.
Now I got to open Steam. I got to see what I played this year.
It would be, for me, between Cyberpunk and Space Marine 2. I think I'd have to give it to Cyberpunk for me. Yeah, Cyberpunk is just
Is it
too
really
good.
that good? Like, do you really
It
like
is.
it that much? Huh?
They fixed
Yeah.
it vastly.
Yeah, I don't know what it was like when it came out because everyone was clowning on it and it sounded like it was very valid. But playing the game, it's like I've described it as like Grand Theft Auto, right? It's like Grand Theft Auto, but it's smaller in scope. So it's more detailed. And the story is like 100 times better too. And there's multiple endings too. It's choice based. There's tons of quests. It's not even very long either. You can spend a long time on it if you want to, but you don't have to. If you just want to beat the game, you totally can. And it takes like maybe 10 hours and then you're just done. And then, that's it. But if you want to spend more time in it, there's tons of shit to do.
They also released the DLC expansion too.
Yeah, which I'm going to get because apparently that's one of like the greatest DLC expansions from what I've been hearing
I'm
people
trying to
say.
think. What was people were comparing it? Because CD Projekt Red, The Witcher, they were comparing it to it being like The Witcher 3's. I can't remember the fucking names of those DLCs. It's Heart of
Blood
something.
Wine and
Yeah.
something Stone, I think.
Yeah, it was comparing it to like the best Witcher 3 DLCs.
Yeah, it's really good. And And then too, like my only issue with it is like the specs are required to play it to make it look as good as they advertise. But I just got GeForce Now and it runs it perfectly fine, so I don't even have to worry about that.
You made them change how their program works.
You did this. You blew up one of their computer. They like sprayed it with the fire extinguisher. Like, who did this? How do we stop him? He's a menace.
Yeah, beyond that, like Space Marine 2 was also really good. I still have to give it to Cyberpunk though. But that would be my second contender. The only other game that I've played that's kind of caught my interest was Zephon I played recently, which is coming from the creators of Warhammer Gladius.
Yeah.
And that one, it's a really good like 4X game, like Civilization, but like heavily combat focused. The problem with it though, that really holds it back is the amount of content. Like you can finish the games relatively fast for this type of game. And there's only one way to play. Like you have to play aggressively, like you're just moving units around and you're trying to kill everyone. That's just how you play the game. So as you replay it, it ends up kind of samey because the commanders that you play as don't really change the gameplay too much from what I've been realizing. So that's like a huge negative for me. But definitely Cyberpunk is my winner for what I've played.
Well, what you thinking, Tsun?
I have to go back to it, but I for me,
I thought you were
Metaphor.
going to say I have to go to the bathroom.
No, I have to return to it because I've just gotten bogged down with a bunch of other stuff. But for me, it would be Metaphor, Fantasio.
Yeah, you guys were pretty.
It's like one of the first
loving
ones that
that.
come to mind.
That would definitely be probably my second for the year. Is my second for the year because there is one thing for me that beat it.
Monster Girl Quest.
Hey, now.
I'm not done with it yet, and it's been like 75 hours. So, and it's also machine translation, so I don't think that'd be fair to rate it on that. Like Paradox Part 3 finally released. It's been in the entire game's first 3 parts combined have been in development for 10 years. That's definitely going to be one of my all-time favorite RPGs. It already is. I just wish that the machine translation program I used didn't have a stroke.
Yeah.
Like there's one character's trait description, which is like their passive. Like if I scroll over to it, it just crashes because the thing just gives up and shuts down. But there's way too much to that game. But I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to give any real.
So what's your actual what's your number one for the year?
It would be the Vampire Survivors DLC, Ode to Castlevania. That was an absolutely phenomenal love letter to people who grew up playing Castlevania, which was one of my favorite series. And it's also like fucking insane. Because so this is going to be spoilers here, but they promise like 40 plus weapons, 30 something songs, 20 plus new characters, and a bunch of other stuff. And the way the character unlocks work in that is they're synced and that like you have to play through them in certain order, and in finishing like surviving long enough or evolving their weapon will unlock the next character. And then it gets to the last character you unlock. And with the DLC, there's one giant stage that's based on like a combination of all of the Castlevania games. But when you finish it with that last character, because the boss only spawns with it, that's when you realize the DLC is getting started. Because when they said 20 plus characters, they meant 80. When they said 40 plus weapons, they meant like 110.
Oh, damn.
Like they added so much stuff, and it's like there's some of the deepest and craziest picks. Like one of the characters they added didn't even have official art in anything.
Yeah.
It's just such a massive love letter to Castlevania, and that's probably why it's my game of the year.
I know. I kind of want to get into it again. You're making me want to re-download it because I loved it.
Wasn't Vampire Survivor? Sorry, wasn't it originally inspired by Castlevania?
Yes, the entire thing originally is an ode to Castlevania,
Yeah,
which is why, because they literally announced it a week before they released it. Like they're like, "Hey, here we go, Konami, let us do this," and then they dropped the absolute greatest DLC. I have experience in a game for a long time, and it's only $4. 100% high recommend. It's absolutely worth playing, even if you're not a Castlevania.
Their pricing's always been nuts compared to the content and quality they put out. In a good way.
Yeah, because I've been playing the DLC for 30, 40 hours so far, and I've not even hit half the stuff I need to do in that DLC.
I started into it, but then we got playing League and stuff, so I've got back.
I'm sorry you had to play League.
I know.
Well, what about you, Fliz? What was your game of the year?
You know, I kind of scrolled through all the games I've played this year. None of them.
What was the most impactful in a good way?
You know, if I had to really like think about what did I really enjoy the most, the real answer is Guilty Gear. Like Guilty Gear just wins again for me.
That's fine. That's fair.
The other answer is the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. Like I am so fucking hyped to play that game. I didn't put any more time in it because
Sorry, I was gonna say we could like for that we could just change around saying that's like your most anticipated game.
I guess but I was just like that and Guilty Gear were the two games that like I really felt interested in playing. I got all this other stuff that like I kind of just played. I mean, I might have said something was better than I'm thinking now that I'm forgetting, but I'm kind of like looking at my list and yeah, we just played a lot of League. League kind of wins for the amount of content you get for no price, but maybe Balatro. Balatro has really kept me interested. I don't know. I don't have any. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no like stories.
I mean, Balatro's great.
It is, and you know, I play it on mobile all the time. But now I'm going to be playing something else for a little bit. So,
I mean, to be fair, Balatro did come out this year, so he gets extra points.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess Balatro, since that's really the only game that I played that came out this year, everything else I picked up for 20 minutes and put right back down.
You did play Soulstone Survivors.
I definitely wouldn't say that's like a favorite. That was more of I have a screaming baby and I hate watching TV. So
that's interesting because I find Soulstone Survivors for me is like one of the better Survivors style games. Like I highly enjoy it, and I always come back for every major update and play it for hours again.
It's fine, you know. While I was playing it though, it just felt like I'd rather be playing Vampire Survivors. Which I don't know why I didn't, but I don't know. It was not a game I was like, oh, I gotta play this. It was more like I cannot do anything but play this or watch TV, and I don't want to watch TV. So that was more out of necessity, needing to play a game that wasn't Magic, because it was looking for games that I could play one-handed. Because I was holding a baby in the other hand the whole time, and I was sick of Magic and the stupid meta that's always going on. And yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It's not something I've been excited to go back to though.
Now, what did you have for us, Liz?
What did I see? I saw they did an interview with Tim Miller about Secret Level, and Secret Level is the Love, Death, and Robots style thing coming to Amazon, I believe. Yep. That is a bunch of shorts, like half-hour shorts. I guess it's not shorts at that point, and they're all IP related to video games, like
Concord.
Concord. Well, that was kind of what got me into the article, because they asked him, they're like, and Tim Miller did like Deadpool, and he's done some other stuff. And I think he actually did Love, Death, and Robots as well. So it is from the same creator. But the funny thing about the Secret Level show is that it has a Concord segment in there. And so we were kind of like, what happens to that since the game is dead? And he went ahead and he's like, it's probably the last anybody will ever see of Concord. We're not planning on taking it out, but you know, that's it. That's it for Concord. And I don't know. I don't know when that comes out exactly, but it is kind of funny to think that.
Should be December 10th. Is what I think.
That's soon, huh?
Ooh, yeah, it is. I'm most hyped for the Warhammer 40K segments of that.
Same. It's gonna be hype.
Give me more Warhammer.
I'll
like
watch
it.
all of it. I'm happy, you know.
Well, I'll watch all of it, yeah, but I'm most hyped for that.
Hey, it's going to be the only Mega Man content we get for years.
I forgot that was in there. Oh, there's also Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the Armored Core episode.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Armored Core too because I like robots. I like
Yeah,
mecha.
you know, and he's saying that, like, you know, it's kind of unfortunate that Concord is in there and it's, you know, a dead franchise. But like you're saying, so is Mega Man and Unreal Tournament and stuff. So what's the difference? This one just died recently. It's like, is it too soon? Is that where we're at? Too soon, Concord.
I don't think Mega Man's dead though, all right?
No, but you know what I mean.
Hey, just a little side note here. Actually, for Unreal Tournament, some like fan group got permission to host two installers, one for Unreal Tournament and Unreal Gold, I believe. So they're freeware now.
Oh,
If you can just go officially download them and play them. I believe it's so
Monster
soon.
Kill. Man, that was the first like online game I ever played was Unreal Tournament, the online FPS, and there was a map that was like two towers on opposite sides and maybe a bridge in the middle or something. That was what everybody wanted to play. That was the snipers and junk. Boy, the flat cannon. That was my gun. I like the flat cannon. Because you didn't have to aim for shit. You just fired
Just
it and people
Fuck
exploded.
that area in general.
Oh yeah. So I'm super hyped for this secret level thing. I'd be hyped if it was Love, Death, and Robots either way, because all that shit is great.
Is there any more Love, Death, and Robots that we haven't watched?
No, unless you
Happening?
miss some
No?
episodes. I don't. Not that there's nothing new.
Man. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I guess, like, it's not done, is it? Like,
I mean, it's not something that's it's not like a yearly drop or something. It's just a show that comes out when they want to do it, pretty much.
yeah, I guess, like, I guess my kind of questioning is, like, have we heard anything on, like, there being, like, another season coming?
That I don't know. It is absolutely a show that
Ah.
if it never happens again, I would expect that. And if it got released this year again, I would also expect that. Like, it's just one of those things.
I really like that. I like it. It's fucking great.
Yeah,
I mean, I would assume we wouldn't hear anything about it till after Secret Level.
for sure.
Sometime
Because
after.
it's the same creator.
Yeah, that makes
so-
sense. Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense.
And they've been working on Secret Level for like 3 years or something. So
Yep.
they've been putting in time. Speaking of visual things with video games that aren't video games, I still gotta watch. Have you guys seen Arcane yet?
I've
No.
not.
Okay. Have you guys seen the first season at least?
Not the
I
full.
remember I was watching it with you and I think a couple other people. And I think you
Okay.
finished it.
You guys must have fell off because I watched the first season twice.
Did, yeah. Yeah. So I never finished it.
Okay. So then I won't talk about that. I still haven't really watched the second part, but that's out now. So we'll get there. The other thing was we talked last week about Destiny Rising and none of us knew what it was. So we decided to look it up and it's apparently a Destiny mobile FPS that looks about how you'd expect it to look. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
just
I
a
guess
piece
the
of
thing-
information. It's
if
I
you-
mean I guess I don't really have like it's weird to me that people play mobile games that aren't static, you know? Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to play like Call of Duty on mobile. That sounds horrendous.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I feel the same way, but Call of Duty Mobile was actually very successful. Like a lot of people played it.
You know, I was big streaming when that came out, and a lot of them folks are on emulators just dunking on kids with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
Like that's what Call of Duty Mobile's for.
that's true. That's probably going to be how the new Destiny is as well, as people on mobile just doing their thing, or just have a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard.
Yep.
To your phone.
Yep. I remember one of my I was in somebody's stream. They're going, fuck this kid. I'm whooping their ass all. And I'm like, dog, you're in a mobile game on mouse and keyboard. You got very quiet very fast.
Hey, they should have just emulated it too. Even playing field.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah. Get off actual mobile. I kind of wanted to try the Diablo mobile game.
Oh, Immortal?
But the time necessary and the money necessary to play it, which doesn't seem to have changed too much.
There's also the file size for like a mobile game.
Yeah, everything about that game is astronomical, and I don't have it in me.
I wouldn't, just because like the whole thing feels like a money trap, not even like a sink, like a literal trap. Because when the game came out, there was a point where the people that spent like the most money in the game found a new mechanic to get stronger by spending more money on the game. Before, like, no one even knew it existed yet because no one had gotten there.
No one had spent enough.
Yeah, no one had spent enough money yet. It's insane. Apparently, you'd have to fight Elon Musk too. So good luck.
Really? Why?
Yeah, he's a top Diablo player apparently. Or is that Diablo 4? It might be 4 actually, not Immortal. I could be wrong about that.
I'm gonna play like Diablo 2 days and tell him, hey man, I can dupe your items, just drop it on the ground. And
the oldest trick in the book.
It worked too, man. I once had this kid following me from lobby to lobby. Give me my account back, it's my dad's stuff. And I ended up, because I felt really bad for him. I was like 12 or 13 or something, but I felt bad. I was like, all right, dude, here's you're obviously actually crying on the other end of the line here. Take it back.
Damn.
Speaking of mobile games, I have been playing the Pokemon mobile card game. I figured
Fuck it.
Yeah, Pokemon TCG Go or mobile or whatever they're calling it.
Pocket, right?
Have you been having tons of fun?
So as y'all know, I posted a picture or two. I the first 3 days I owned it, I opened it maybe 4 or 5 times and never actually played a game. It was constant shop updates and leveling up and opening card packs, and like the game does not want you to play the real game for quite some time. Like maybe about half an hour into playing the game, you can actually start playing the game. Maybe if you like speed run it and just skip it, you can't skip everything because it takes forever to open card packs and shit too. I just thought it was crazy. Like I can see, we talked about how it was weird that it was making so much money so fast. It's because that's all there really is to do, kind of, is open more card packs. Everything is open more card packs. That being said, yesterday I finally actually got into the game, and I haven't actually played anybody, but I've been playing the like solo missions and stuff to kind of get more cards. That's the other thing I can see is why people are dumping money into card packs. It takes a long time to make like an actual deck that isn't like a rental deck or a pre-made, because you can use rental decks, but they are like 10 uses a piece and then you can't use them anymore. Then you got to make your own decks, and you don't get matching cards enough to make a deck with a theme that works. So until you dump a bunch of money or spend a lot of time, your deck is just an amalgamation of junk that you hopefully got lucky enough to get some decent stuff in there. That being said, it is very much so Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, where like the games are designed to be that was my original problem with the Pokemon card game in the first place, the original one. It's very slow for a card game. Not as bad as like Magic Commander decks or anything, but it is much slower than some other games I've played, and there's less stuff you can do. It's less technical by far. It is kind of but this version is a lot like Marvel Snap, which I didn't like too much either, but I'm kind of having fun with it. I was up all night playing. One thing that does kind of trip me out is there's like an auto battle function, which leads me to believe that you're just supposed to grind on some battles and just like, boop, okay. And I was doing that today. I was cleaning and I'd set up the battle that I was trying to do with the deck I wanted, just press auto battle and walk away. And it's fine.
Did you lose?
Yeah, but I also won. So if I just did that, I could do that all day long and just leave my phone on the charger and never actually play the game and just keep getting stuff. So
you say that there's a whole genre of mobile game like that. Those auto MMOs. Have you ever played one of those?
Oh yeah. Have you guys actually played Raid Shadow Legends?
No, I have not.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't, but everybody knows it. And it is that there's literally, I played that game. You play the tutorial, you start doing things, and then it's like, this is your first dungeon run. Would you like to run it 30 times in a row? Press the run 30 times button. Like, this is ridiculous. Why? This isn't actually a game anymore. This is just gambling.
I don't even mean that. Like, this is like, it's doing quests for you. So you're running around like the MMO map and it talks to people for you and then it keeps going. You ever play one of those?
No.
Those are things. They're very popular.
RPG?
It's an idle MMO RPG. Yeah. It's it's basically what you were doing, where like it's something that you just leave on your phone while you go do something else and you come back and all your numbers went up. Got all this cool stuff now. Here, now you can go get even cooler stuff.
Is there like the number one of those games? Sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. Is there like the most what is like the most popular one of those games?
I'm not sure because I only played one of them, which was I think it was called like Armored God or something. But there's so many of them, and a lot of them are, I believe, a lot of them are from Korea. They tend to be, which is like there's a lot of MMOs in that area.
Most of the ones I can think of are Korean. I can't remember the names, but most of the ones I can picture, like game wise, I think are Korean based.
Yeah, and they all kind of look the same, to be honest. So I don't know which one is like the top one, but I know there's a lot of them, and people spend a lot of money too because
so they're gacha games as well.
Pretty much. They're like they have the whole top up system where you spend money daily to earn a bunch of rewards, and like you can spend extra too if you want to. And I've played Armored God. I never bought anything because I pretty much I don't spend money on mobile games like ever. But yeah, it was like a thing for a while, and then I stopped playing because you get to a point where you just can't beat people that are actually spending money on it. It's just not possible.
That's kind of how I'm feeling the Pokemon one will go. Like, I've yet to fight actual people, but I've strictly told myself, and I'm keeping to it, that I'm not spending a dime on this game. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have dimes.
Oh no.
So I'm playing it to the best of my ability with without we're gonna see, and then I'll let you know next week if it is a possible task. Because I'll know pretty quickly whether or not it's worth even playing without money.
Do you know, can you use those QR codes on the mobile app too to get Pokemon card packs?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean QR codes?
Whenever you buy like a Pokemon card pack, like a real one, right? You get a bunch of cards. They always give you like a little QR code you can redeem for their online game too, so you can get cards there as well.
I believe that this is entirely separate from the actual card game. This is like its own, because it's its own battle system and stuff.
Is it?
Yeah, I was saying it's designed to be shorter games. The games take like 5-6 minutes or something, compared to like I played Azumi once for the first time. That game took like half an hour.
Yeah.
And I wasn't having fun for minute one. So this is a different, faster version that is, I would assume, wholly separate from
I gotcha.
the other thing. Yeah.
See, I just
So-
assumed that there were like less prize cards or something, but it sounds like it's a whole different game, basically.
Yeah, the one thing I can say that's kind of, and so I'm solidifying that because it there's not a lot of stuff to buy. Like if you're trying to get into a card game or a mobile game from the ground up, where like not everybody already has the best stuff, that's where I'm kind of interested in this because I can just, I'm in the same spot as everybody else since the game kind of just came out.
There's a fair playing ground, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I'm starting out and everybody's got the super Gigantamax. I don't know anything about Pokemon. I'm not the
You don't
one.
have to worry about
I know
the
about-
generational wealth.
Yeah. I'm not worried about old money yet. So yeah, I can kind of recommend it. I'm having more fun with it already than I ever did with Marvel Snap. And Marvel Snap, while not a bad game at all, I did not like from the start. And I put a lot of hours into it. I just never actually had any fun with it. So we'll see how that goes. Well,
Okay,
because
well,
like Marvel Snap had it's really mobile friendly. Like extreme. Like the only other game that I would think is more mobile friendly than Marvel Snap is Hearthstone.
Yeah, but it wasn't fun. So why did you play it?
Because I like card games, man.
I
I
figured
play
you
'em
would
all.
like games that were fun more than that.
He
Well,
plays
also-
League. Come on.
Maybe he's
Well-
trying to find the fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. I was trying to find the fun because
How much time did you put into it though?
I even have a YouTube video I made. Like I put a lot of time into Marvel Snap. I had like a solid month of like, I'm not doing anything. Might as well play Marvel Snap. And I never really liked the way that game played. I don't like the rules. So yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's good. It's just not for me. Like a lot of things. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all I got. Unless y'all got absolutely anything else you're interested in throwing out there.
I got-
Last thing I have is we returned to Overwatch for a hot minute this past week.
I didn't. I stayed out of that.
Yeah, we returned to try out the new Overwatch Classic and also just try Overwatch 2 and kind of compare and contrast. And the funny thing is that they've been talking, the devs, have been talking about returning 6v6 and kind of how the game used to be. Because there have been complaints about the 5v5 and the balancing and stuff. And they went, I swear, they kind of went the most shit-headed way about it of saying like, well, you're wrong and we're right. But like that old World of Warcraft meme. Like you think you want it, but actually you don't.
Except with WoW Classic, they did. Like,
Yeah.
people still play that.
Instead of releasing Overwatch 1 as it was before it was, taken off and replaced with Overwatch 2, they released the original Overwatch. They removed like all the characters that they've added since. All the old mechanics are back.
Yeah, quality of life changes are gone.
Quality of life changes are gone. And it like why? Like why even do that?
Yeah, we kind of came to the consensus that this is their way of going, see, you didn't really want old Overwatch anyway. You thought you did,
it's like their most
Yeah.
petty way of going about
but
it.
yeah.
It's
So-
also so they can go through the next 8 Overwatch classics as they add each character back.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe.
There's 8 seasons worth of events they can pad out right there.
I don't think they're going to want to do that though. Because like we played it just for some nostalgia. And even then we're kind of like, all right, I'm done with this after a couple games. Like the Overwatch as a base game was not good to go. Like eventually it became a juggernaut, but at release it had a lot missing that they needed to kind of clean up. And you can feel it if you go play Classic. Like the teams don't make sense and nobody cares and nothing really matters. And that's how the original game was on release.
yeah, and I'm sure it feels even worse nowadays with how like eventually they revamped the
hindsight.
game. Yeah, in hindsight, like oh, it was actually really bad, but that's only because the game like eventually started feeling so much better. Like
Yep.
even I played Lucio. I never played Overwatch when it came out, but I didn't realize that Release Lucio did not have his wall jump ability where he can jump off the wall. So his passive is just feels silly. Like why like
Get
why
stuck
even
on the
use
wall,
it?
like
Yeah, just like slowly just an easy moving predictable target. Like there's no point in using it.
I
But then
will say, real quick, my favorite, the one thing I really did enjoy about the Overwatch Classic play was the good laugh I got when everything is like, oh, it's Overwatch Classic. And then he goes, name's Cassidy. And I'm like, nah.
yeah. They're like, here's classic, but we still retconned the name.
Yeah. He was never McCree. That's the Mandela effect. He was always Cassidy. What are you talking about?
So it's not truly Overwatch Classic.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
Couldn't even do that right. I'll still never get over the fact that they changed his name because of all the stuff that the employee they was named after did. Supposedly, I don't think he was ever actually convicted of anything. But then they just referenced him as from Butch Cassidy, who's like an actual serial killer. Like, what's the point? Like, just call him Bob. Oh no, there's already a Bob. God damn it.
Yeah. You got nothing.
Davis.
But then we played Overwatch 2 as well. And what did you feel from like in comparison to the Overwatch Classic and what like you used to play for Overwatch 2?
Just not having fun.
Man, because I have thousands of hours in the original Overwatch as just strictly a tank support player. And playing Overwatch 2, we even had one of our friends playing with us who, I don't care how many things he told me were good about Overwatch 2, it felt terrible to be a tank and like not have your buddy tank to make plays and back up. And because like the main thing I noticed is as a tank in Overwatch 2, you've lost the agency that you had in Overwatch 1 of being able to go like, hey, I'm going to go flank, or hey, I'm going to go do something stupid or fun, or hey, I'm going to push this, or nah, you just have to sit with your team and deal with it. And that's kind of what the game is. It feels like I could be wrong.
Babysit them and they will babysit you.
Pretty much.
Like
it's mutual babysitting.
Important.
Yeah. And that was, my favorite thing about the first one is if I wanted to be off tank and go wreck shit, I could. Now that doesn't exist anymore. And apparently that's to fix queue times, but the queue times were still trash. So I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
They were specifically trash for when we were in a 5-stack.
Yeah. But even as the other, because me and Lionel queued as a tank and healer, and it still took a couple minutes. When old Overwatch, if I queued as tank with a healer or tank with an off tank, boom, we're in a game. So yeah, I am not a fan, and I don't think anybody could convince me that Overwatch 2 is anywhere close to the game that the original Overwatch had become. But how did you feel? How did you fellas like it? I know Kyler has the most hours, so starting with you, like, what did you think about it?
So the main difference for me, like, and this feels weird to say, I don't 100% like know what I mean by this either. But Overwatch 2 felt like lonelier than Overwatch 1. Like there's something missing that just makes any type of team dynamic even a thing. Almost like it just feels like everyone's just running around doing shit. You know what I mean? Where Overwatch 2, like when we were playing, or not Overwatch 2, Overwatch Classic, like when we were playing, you could have like a clear front line. You had your DPS in the spots where they were supposed to be. Your healers were positioned where they wanted to go to support the front line and help their healer. Like it felt like organized almost. And people complain about like, oh, we have no tanks, no healers. We never had that at all when we were playing. I mean, we were playing 2 of them, but even then, most of the time we were doing 2-2-2 with randoms.
Yeah, it like, would you say that you spent a lot of time just kind of looking for your teammates more so than like doing something that you wanted to do? That's how I kind of felt.
It was more, I was just watching them like off in the distance. And actually, Jacob was watching me watch them. I watched you eventually. You were just like in their like outside their base or something. I was like, there he is, my hero. I was so far away from you. Like, there's no
Dying
way
alone.
I'm catching up. Yeah, there's no way I was getting to you. And yeah, because in most cases in Classic or Overwatch 1, if you had done that, we could follow up with like a Zarya or Diva or something and push with whatever you're doing, right? We could take advantage of you making space. It's much harder now in Overwatch 2, especially because everyone's kind of everywhere. We have people just like fighting all the time constantly because the maps in the new game are so open that there is no line to hold. Like you can just go around whatever you set up no matter what.
Yeah, there was the I'd have to spend more time on the maps to really know them, because I honestly didn't know any of them. But it felt like they weren't directing me anywhere fun. It was just kind of, I could die from any angle or they could die from any angle. Anybody could be anywhere at any time. I know I'm supposed to look forward as a tank, but that's pretty much it. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
the
really
game
allowed to
is
do anything else.
Pretty much. I mean, the game does seem more fun if you play damage, for sure, almost guaranteed, because you have more options now compared to the first game. There's when I was playing damage, I was playing Soldier, I played Sojourn, Reaper, I played a few. There's so many angles you can take to just do stuff, and there's less shields in the way, so you can really just start plinking people. The game's definitely more enjoyable as a DPS player if you're just kind of running and gunning and not talking to anyone.
Might as well play Call of Duty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, if that's what you're looking for, there are games that are just that anyways, where you kind of lose more of the teamwork aspect of like synergizing ultimates more because one, there's less of them, so there's less synergies to even do, and then two, because the games are all over the place, kind of for the most part, it makes it hard to even be with your teammates to do it in the first place. It's just more difficult, especially with randoms. It's easier if you have like a 5 stack, but I mean, then you got to get in a full group all the time.
Yeah, it very well could be that I was trying to play Overwatch 1 in Overwatch 2, and that's not how Overwatch 2 plays.
That is exactly what I was thinking. Is that my sense of how I want to do this is, I think, incorrect with how the game should be played now.
Yeah. You just want a death ball over and over again.
But I don't think that's how it works anymore. Like,
Well, it feels like that's what it wants you to do, is just death ball. Like, anytime we split up, everything went to shit real fast.
Yeah, that's especially even if you look at the new characters too, that kind of help accomplish that. Like the speedy astronaut lady. You got Life Weaver. Someone gets too far away from the ball, you pull them back into the ball.
Hey, get back here. No fun allowed.
Yeah, no. Get back over here. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the classic as much. I honestly had more fun with the classic than 2 though. Mostly when I played Zarya with you as Ryan. That was fun. Holding,
I miss all that. I miss the duo tanks, man. That was my shit.
There was one game we were fighting against like 3 bastions or something, and you'd hold your shield up and your shield was break because they all got turret form. So I'd step in front of you while bubbling you, and then once my bubble ran out, I'd use my bubble and body block for you while you retreat. Like shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just gone now.
Yep.
It's just gone. Oh, so sad.
Yeah. I also feel like everybody got their ults a lot faster. So
that makes sense because with less shields in the game, you could, land more bullets. I know tanks don't give as much ult charge, but if you have 800 health, I mean, you're basically going to give the same amount because you're just going to be taking more damage in general.
Oh shit. I think I gotta cut it short.
Okay. Yeah. That's it for me though.
All right. Well, maybe we'll play more into it, and I do want to play a little bit more Overwatch in the future, but I gotta go right now. So thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all so much for listening. Oh fuck. You know what? Somebody else outro this.
Oh no.
Sorry.
someone else outro it. It's
gonna be
all right,
disaster.
everybody. That was the 24th episode of the Giant Enemy Podcast. Crab Podcast. Fuck.
Giant
No, I'm
enemy
fucking up.
crab.
Giant Enemy Crab Podcast. And we will see you next week. Assuming we're going to be talking about some stuff about the Game Awards announcements and some other stuff off late about on there.
Should be fun.
This is and now your host Strider, I guess. and the boys.
Yeah.
Tsun and Kyler and Fliss. And we will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
He's right there.
He's right there. Get him.